I said early on that we're not going to let any stone go unturned, and I meant that, and we're following up on everything. We've received 4,300 phone tips. We've received 4,500 digital tips. All of this helps build the picture that we're trying to put together here to solve this case. We're reviewing all those tips. We're checking to ensure that we have individuals who look at those tips and any piece of evidence that they can link to this case, they're doing so.
Those tips help us do everything from clear people who maybe there was some speculation about, to further some of the theories that we're working on. So the next is just to continue on what we're doing, eliminate the information that we know is not going to be relevant to the investigation.
We have a special team of individuals who are skilled at watching videos, collecting evidence and information out of those videos and linking them together so that we can tie every piece together for this investigation. We'll determine whether they're valuable to us, and people may not think that they're valuable, but we still want that stuff to come into us so that we can look at it and decide if it fits our case or not. We are looking at everyone. Every tip we get, every lead we get, there's no one that we're not going to talk to. There's no one we're not going to interview. There's no one that we're not going to look into. And we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to make sure that nothing goes unturned, and that we do everything we can with the assistance of all the resources we have to get a final answer.
Thanks, Chief Fry.
And eventually, and we see this coming, eventually we're going to narrow in on exactly what happened and who did it.
I think the eventual conclusion is going to bear out the fact that this was a one-off crime that was committed and was very focused and doesn't involve other students or the public in general at all.
You know, we're trained to investigate things, and we're fact finders. That's what an investigation does. It puts all the pieces together so that we can paint the picture, so that when an arrest is made and it goes to trial, that we can lay that all out for a jury to be able to see the facts and see how we got from point A to point B.
In Mr. Koberger's case, the Latah County prosecutor, the Moscow Police Department, the Idaho State Police, and the FBI worked together to investigate the case and identify a suspect. At some point, genetic genealogy was used for identification. That information remains withheld from Mr. Koberger. Mr. Koberger does not even know when this began or when he was supposedly identified.
And how did you get this genealogical match? Do we know it's a good match? Maybe you got tunnel vision early on in the case through bad genealogy.
DNA evidence and that matching is so important. We hear it from jurors all the time in interviews after trial and talking to them later in life. The DNA match is so important. Cases get overturned. Things change when there is this DNA evidence. So how we got there, how we made the connections, how the profiles were set up, how it was documented, how it was analyzed, just turn it over. If you did it right, it shouldn't be a problem.
They're basically saying, trust the fox who's guarding the hen house to say he's not going after the hens without checking on the hens yourself. And even just real basic. Remember when we did math class when we were going up in school, it was always show your work. You don't just give an answer. And that's another analogy I'll use here. How did they get to that conclusion? The state definitely needs to turn that over so the defense can adequately investigate that. Given that this is a death penalty case, if the judge doesn't let the defense look at that stuff, he's asking for reversal on appeal.
do you do if you hear that the other side has an expert that's talking out of two sides of their face? Are you just supposed to sit back, or are you supposed to investigate it yourself? Like, what else are they supposed to do other than call the FBI?
It's very simple. It's called cross-examination. It's very simple. You have a hearing, you put the witness on the stand, you cross-examine him. Duke it out in a courtroom. You don't go having somebody saying, hey, we're the FBI, we're from the government, we're here to help. That's intimidation.
So,
that's a violation of due process.
Are you?
What is it like to start zeroing in on Bryan Kohberger?
You know, it's stressful. You know that this individual is out there somewhere. We knew that there was going to be an arrest made in Pennsylvania. That's still, even though we're here, it's stressful here.
Please don't get distracted by the conspiracy theories, and I'll just be perfectly blunt. The nonsense that some people put out there just to stir the pot, that hurts the families all the more. That hurts the community all the more. So use your common sense and trust what's going on. The investigators really are doing the very best they can.